Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End on your Monday evening. I'm Marcus Dash. Our guys, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn, and my brother Tasia Dash should be joining us shortly. But yeah, I hope everyone had a nice weekend, ready to talk some college prospects as we inch closer to the NFL draft, which is in, I believe, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. So after today, we have 3 more Mondays until the NFL draft. I cannot believe the NFL draft is already here. It's really nuts, to be quite honest with you. But hey, we're 3 weeks out. And it should be a good one. I'm very excited about this upcoming draft. But yeah, tonight we have another, 9 prospects to throw at you. I got 3, Taja's got 3, and JD's got 3. We'll be all sharing all 3 of them tonight. Last week's episode went really long. It was about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Tonight, as soon as the guys get on here, we're going to jump right to the prospects. No farting around. We're just going to get right to it. So hope everybody enjoys the show tonight. And yeah, let's take before we begin the show, I always have to mention our partners, and of course, Chief Concerns is presented by FanDuel, the #1 sports book. And let's take a gander, and not a lot of shifting in the odds, guys. Well, if you are, looking at other things besides March Madness and the NBA playoffs, and you just want to talk Chiefs, and you just want to, look at Chiefs lines, well, right now the Chiefs are the heavy favorite, not the heavy favorite. They are actually, right now we're the second behind the Chargers in odds for the division right now. It's kind of neck and neck every week. I think it keeps flip-flopping. Chiefs are like, 5th in the AFC, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about tied for 5th in the AFC. Either way, the Chiefs are there, and if you think Mahomes will be back healthy, you think all the guys will be ready to go, the cavalry will be there, and why don't you make place a wager on that right now, because I'll tell you what, the Chiefs line is never going to get lower than this, guys. So if you want to make a value play, this is what you got to do. So that is what we're rolling with tonight. So that's FanDuel. And I hope everyone's March Madness brackets are going as good as mine are, because I have Michigan winning the whole thing. I got Michigan against Illinois in the championship, and I'm a game away from that happening, right? So very close to that happening. Very excited about it's a crazy thing. Every year I'm usually a really big college basketball guy. I got to say, this year is probably my weakest college basketball year. I wasn't watching every Tuesday, Wednesday, or every big night they had games on. I wasn't really watching. I wasn't paying attention. And my bracket's doing the best it's ever been. So which is crazy, but that just tells you it's a lucky thing, the March Madness bracket. So, yeah, it's the best I've ever done in March Madness, and I didn't watch a lot of college basketball this year. So that tells you it's pretty much lucky. All right, our guy, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn, is joining us here. Hey, there he is. There's the man.
What up? What up? What up?
What's going on, brother? How's your March Madness bracket going?
Man.
Duke?
Yeah. Kill me, man. I'm still having a hard time with it, Marcus. Okay? That debacle we just had. We had a 20-point lead at one point. All we had to do was just hold the ball. Just hold it.
Yeah. Get fouled.
Yeah. Dribble around the guys. You had 2 guys in front of you. Dribble around them. Make them foul you. Okay? But don't throw it over 2 trees who's jumping up. And then when the guy gets it, play defense. Put a hand in his face. And me and Duke was sitting there watching, and I'm like, as soon as he took that shot, I said, man, this joker's going to hit it. It just looked good when it just left. And it was, man, he laced it. Shock. You could hear the nets. Shock. I was like, yeah. And the thing is, Marcus, of course, I was talking a type of mad noise to everybody else,
I
UK
bet.
fans, Chad and his North Carolina, the Tar Heels. I'm just like, man, we'll handle it from here. Okay. Somebody's got to represent North Carolina, so we'll go ahead and do that. So it was, man, I just couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. So, yeah, man.
Do you think, I know it's not a new thing that guys, these elite colleges have like the best freshman classes, but do you think that, especially in the tournament, it's kind of a, at this point, the way college basketball's going, the top, like the teams like Michigan, for example, they have a couple dudes who aren't one and doneers. These are guys who've been there, like the Yaxel Lindenberg or whatever.
Yeah.
Guy, he's gonna be 22, 23. They say he might not be a top 10 pick because of his age, right? We talk about guys being older, but like these teams who are still in, I mean, Connecticut's got some older guys, Michigan's got some older guys. That's like kind of the thing in March Madness. You kind of want seniority, right? It's going away of having the older dudes, whereas the one and doneers may not be getting the job done.
Yeah, no, you do. You want that experience, and I think especially moments like that, guys have kind of been there before. But it was the freshman hit the shot at the end.
That's true.
So, but we're talking about continuity on the team. I think it is important. It's very important how you have everything set up. Look like I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
You are frozen. I can hear you, but you were frozen. Okay, you're good now.
Yeah. But now, man, I do believe that there is something there. It has always been like that. The teams that have won and war together, you could see the resiliency that they have. They have an understanding about what these moments mean. There's a whole different type of buy-in. So that's what it is, man. It's no different from any other sport, to be honest with you. And you just get forged in the fire for a long time being with the same people. And so you've seen a lot of that this past year where just, guys getting paid a whole lot of money NIL and sitting down. But I don't know if people haven't seen me on Twitter, but I've been very critical of these coaches that have been going places, and everybody glad hands them up, pat them on the back. Oh, look at good job, way to be here. And I'm just like, that's why they abandon your team when they need you the most. But every time you want to excoriate the young guys for going out trying to get money, like I said again, trying to sit up. Oh, is that me again?
Yeah, you're frozen again, brother. But I can hear you though, so it's interesting.
Yeah. But I think that, man, is I really do believe that there's something there that has got to change. I said either you do it and you get on the coaches too, or you just leave it all alone. Leave the coaches and the players alone, and let them just try to make their living as they should.
I agree. Yeah, if coaches can do it, players should be able to do it. If it's a business for coaches, it's a business for players as well. And I think that honestly, I know some people may disagree, but I think that from the high school level all the way, because it happens at a high school level as well. Like a high school coach can leave from one year to the other, go to the team down the street. But if I want more playing time, I can't go to the team down the street also. I think that's BS. I know it's a little different money. It's a little different more in college than it is in high school, obviously, because these are just teacher salaries. But still, though, like that coach is going to a better opportunity. What if this player can get a better opportunity at the high school down the street? I'm talking public schools. I'm not talking private.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
No, I do. I agree with you. They're doing it for their family. Why wouldn't he want to do it for his family? Help out himself. So I really do believe, sometimes, we kind of get into these things, which I think there is a conversation about sometimes, the buy-in and loyalty and being somewhere, not just, leaving. There is something about that too. I think you can kind of find it somewhere in the middle, Marcus. I really do. But this kind of all or nothing type of deal, I think, man, is for the birds, truly, because one person is able to profit off of this, the other one's not. So coaches are good. I'll go here. Look, Nick Saban left in the middle of the night when he was with Miami.
Yeah.
I heard the reports. They said Nick Saban didn't even turn off the lights. They thought he was still working.
No, he literally left in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Middle of the night, lights still on. They come in like, "Hey, Nick, where you at?" I said, "Where's Nick? Where's he got to be in the building?" Bounce in the middle of the night.
Yeah, when I was in school in Miami, I remember I had a lot of journalists as teachers, and they always call Saban one of the biggest chicken shits of all time because guess what happened? He didn't get the answer. He didn't get any media scrutiny. He got the heck out of Dodge. Didn't have to face any questions, any hard line questions from any reporters. Got the heck out of Dodge, and that was it.
Yeah. Didn't really get a whole lot of backlash from it, and he come in Alabama, did his thing, and congratulations to him. But there is a history that he does have.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys who tell you in the NFL like, "Hey man, this dude just left us.
Yeah,
high and dry." So,
and he's one of the biggest spokespeople, right? And also too, he was definitely paying guys money on the side, and now he's one of the biggest spokespeople against the NIL and how much money these kids are making. But wait, so you were able to do that, but now it's even the playing field for every team, not just Alabama. You don't want that anymore, right?
Yeah, man. The playing field has what's the name? Has kind of gotten a little bit equal, right? It's leveled itself.
Yeah. And
all of a sudden, you get out when the getting out was good. Didn't have something to say. So, I'm get on my soapbox about that. We could talk about that all night. I really could, man. But that's one thing that really grinds my gears. You know how people say it grinds my that does it. This is for somebody who played and also somebody who coached. And I coached where guys didn't have a whole lot of money, and if they could get $1 to do something, man, let them guys do it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you, and I think it's a perfect conversation for our prospect show tonight, right? We're talking about college kids, so it's a perfect time to be talking about this stuff. But yeah, I say for the sport, people always talk about the integrity of the sport, right? The integrity of the sport's being ruined because kids are getting paid a lot of money. Okay, well, integrity of the sport, right? Talk about the sport. You care so much about the sport. Well, how about this? Every year now, we're having multiple different teams compete for this college football championship, whereas in the past, it was the same 3 teams, same 4 teams in contention every year. Now every team's going to be part of that. Forget the kids aspect, but everyone's be able to take a bite of the apple now. We're getting a chance to do that when you weren't being able to do that before. It was literally Alabama, USC, LSU, same 5 teams, Georgia. It was the same 4 teams every year. And look, it's not the case.
Yeah.
Like Miami hadn't been relevant in 30 years. They got to the national championship this game. Indiana never been relevant. What happened? Got to the championship game this year. And I think that is cool for the game of football where it's just the same 4 teams every year. I mean, really? I mean, that's so only 4 teams are paying their players, really. But now you can open up to everybody to be able to kind of go to their alumni and get that money for these players. And now you have every team is in contention now.
But Mark, also to me, that's the challenge. Like Signetti. I mean, we're saying, okay, if you're saying it's hard now, Nick Saban, you getting out and you feel like you can't talk to kids. Well, that sounds like a you problem. Okay. If you're as good as the coach as you say you are, this should be a challenge for you to step it up saying, yeah, the level field has been somewhat leveled. Okay. Now let me come in and do my best work now. Right. Let me still get the kids in, galvanize them, to put a team together, national championship team. Those are the things that you should be doing now. And some other coaches, and what you see is someone just kind of ran away from it and put it down. So I don't know, man. It's and I have a hard time when you do see Saban get up there as a spokesperson to try to knock down the livelihood of some of these guys. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, he was able to capitalize off it, but nobody else can now. Not even the players.
Right.
Nuts, man.
What's going on with you, man? What's good in Chief Concerns family? What's up, guys and gals? How y'all doing? There's my folks, man, over here. Michelle Spence, iDubbbz.
Chat, FaceTime video.
Yo. Yeah, that's on the show. I'm on the show.
What's up, Chad?
What's going on, Marcus? You doing all right?
I'm good. I'm doing great, brother. How are you doing? I'm sure you're stoked about Duke getting dominated last night.
Which one?
girls and the guys lost. So
the girls lost too. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the men's one was the heartbreaker. That would have. I'm sure JD was in another world after that one.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he was happy about it, man. I'll say, man, I'm gonna put them down as haters of the year.
No, I'm just gonna say, like I said, a wise man, like I always tell everybody, a wise man always says, if you're not first, you're last.
Very true. Very true. Hey, Chad, who do you want? UNC is looking for a basketball coach. Who's your top choice for UNC's next basketball coach?
Jordan, Michael Jordan, and they're talking about Jordan and who else was it?
Billy Donovan.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Billy Donovan.
Yeah, Billy Donovan making too much money up there, man. He don't want to come deal with that. College kids.
I mean, they might fire him. I think that's also interesting, right? Chicago, they're in a horrible place, but yet colleges would love to get one of the worst NBA basketball coaches to come coach their team.
Oh yeah. Andrea and Witchy and Demetrio Spencer. What's up, Chad? Everybody saying what's up to you, bro. Neff. Word.
Word.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about that. MJ making that money in the NASCAR right now. That's what he loves. He loves doing that. You know what I mean?
So you don't think Jordan's still making shoes retro ones? That's how much he makes.
Yeah.
His basketball shoes, retro ones.
Yeah. He's fine making that type of money. I don't think you want to come up here deal with that.
Yeah, for his one spot on NBC a week now, he's getting paid millions for that. Yeah, he's good, man.
Will and iDub say what's up. What's good, Chad? Chad, brother. When that's everybody hollering at you.
What's up?
Yeah.
He retro money. He cryptic down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna cryptic money. But I'm not a Jordan. To be honest with you, I'm not a Jordan fan, coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah. Yeah.
You see how many players he ruined? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, you try to put that over with his with the Warriors. They weren't on that. They weren't on that at all. So yeah. Demetrio Spencer, I can't stand Jordan. Go Pistons.
Jordan, that's Tage's boy. Tage's a big Jordan guy.
Who isn't?
I mean,
yeah, we on the show right now. Yeah, that's what everybody talking about. You mean hit you back, Neff? You mean hit you back?
I'll go on real quick.
Okay. All right, sound good. All right, Neff, love you. All right.
See you, Chad. All right, we got the squad in here. It's lovely hearing from Chad. I love it. 2 episodes in a row getting to hear from our guy Chad. Love that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, Bob. Yeah. So he was one of the first phone calls I got after that loss. Of course. So it's all good.
That was a heartbreaker, man. I was feeling for you.
I was like, how we lose that one? Like, how do you lose that? Come on.
I mean, each round you guys were hanging on by a thread, man. I mean, that Siena game right out the gate. Every game you guys were in a tussle.
Yeah, no reason for that. Zero.
Yeah. Hopefully Michigan comes through and I'll win my bracket for the first time ever, and I'll be very happy.
Wow. Okay.
It's interesting because this is the first year I haven't really followed college basketball. I usually watch it all the time. Didn't really watch it this year, but now my bracket's doing the best it's ever been, which is nuts.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't even put
big luck element to it.
Big luck element to it, and also not having any biases against teams, just because you watch a team or you bet on them, and they lost, and it's like okay,
it's true.
Didn't have that this year, so there was that out of the
for a team.
Yeah, for or against, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But all right, so let's kind of take a dig in for our prospects tonight. We went like 2.5 hours last week. We're going to try not to go 2.5 hours this Monday, guys. So let's dig in. We got a lot of good prospects, 9 prospects to get after. It's some really good names, and we're gonna touch on that right now. So let's dig in.
Chad is my nephew, DeMonte, Green Beans. So
yeah, come on, DeMonte, you should know that by now. We talk about Chad all the time.
Fan favorite, yeah, of the show and whatnot. What's up, Tayish? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing all right, man. So, I'm excited for these prospects.
It's gonna be
good. Me too, man. We're getting to the nitty gritty. I think we're about done with after today. I think we're done with the number 9 overall prospects. I think this will be it. I think from here on out we have like 29 and after.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the last one for the top 9. I mean, yeah, I guess anything could happen in the draft. Someone just falls, but more than likely it's probably be it.
3 more Mondays until the draft. So we have 3 more of these shows until the draft, which is just crazy how fast this draft's coming. I mean, the fact that it's already here.
It is crazy.
Snap a finger. It feels like yesterday was the Raiders game. We were watching that last game of the season.
I know.
All right, let's dig in for our prospect show. So our first one of the night is our guy JD's gonna lead us off here with David Bailey.
David Bailey. Oh man. So it's seen have him right here, 6'4", 251. This guy right here is just a athletic phenom. He really is. When I first started watching his film, I didn't really like his he's like herky-jerky type movement. That's what it kind of looked like to me. But everything with his herky-jerky is very effective. He's around guys before they even know what's happening. He has a mixed bag with his hands, spin moves, whatever you name. Anything you could think of playing a defensive end, he can do. To me, he is the purest pass rusher in this draft by far, to me. And so that's what his game is. And so he came from Stanford over here at Texas Tech, and he's just been lighting it up. He's got quickness, he's got speed, he's got power, he's got bend. He sets guys up. He does. He sets guys up to the point where tackles don't really know what to do with him. And the thing is, you just gotta. You see him just trying to hold on dear life. But David Bailey to me is the purest pass rusher in this draft. He is somebody that could play in any defense that you're having. I think people wondered like, oh well, he has to stand up. Spags has no problem with him standing up in a 4-3, 3-4. We mix it up enough that he could play in any part of the field, be able to rush, blitz. This guy right here could do it all. He runs guys down. He's got a high motor on him, but he's just a phenomenal player, phenomenal edge rusher. The thing is, maybe it's not his strong suit, but he's very capable of doing is against the run. People talk that he's not that great at it. I think he is. I think he's adequate, to be honest with you.
It's a good word for it, JD.
Yeah.
Adequate.
He is. Yeah, he's adequate. He's not going to be the one that pushes the tackle into like the pulling guard. He's not going to be that guy. He's going to beat him more so with finesse and quickness to get in the backfield, and that's where he disrupts. The whole thing is because he can just penetrate with his speed and athleticism. But David Bailey, man, he's a first-round pick. I don't know if he'll get to us. Somebody's going to sweep this guy up really quick. All the teams that we know need pass rushers, it's going to be either him or Bain going to be the first ones off the board. And I'm sure once he goes, Bain is going to follow or vice versa. That's just the way it works. These two are the best pass rushers in coming out prospects. But that's your guy right here, David Bailey. So.
Yeah, I'll say a few things on David Bailey. I mean, if he came number 9, I'd love it. All these people who say he doesn't fit the proper Spags mold because he's too light. No, we enough of the Spags mold, guys. We need a dude who can get back to the quarterback, and this is what he does. And one thing I love about him, like we talked about these players bouncing around from college to college, what I love is that every place he's went, right, so Stanford and Texas Tech, he produced at both places, different systems, but he still was able to do his thing at both colleges, and I think that's great, right? He was able to produce at Stanford and Texas Tech. But yeah, if we were able to get him, like to have guys like Karlaftis and Jones, two power dudes, to get a guy like him as a lightning quick edge rusher, I'd be really thrilled about that, and we should all be excited because that's a totally new look to our pass rush and having a guy like that. So he'd be answering our prayers, having that guy who's a quarterback getter, and that he'd be that for us. So I love David Bailey coming to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to go through some stuff that hasn't been said yet. So he stood out in the bigger games of the season, which is always great. And it's not for lack of effort that he's not an elite run defensive guy. He does try really hard. He's competitive. He fights through blocks. And his run defense actually got a lot better from Stanford to last year. So the fact that we've seen him improve means he's capable of more, right? So that's always a good sign. Forced 8 fumbles last 2 years, 100 percentile pass rush win rate in 2024. It's crazy. 22% win rate in 2025. He's got a million different moves, so he could do so much. In Stanford, he was more of a pressures guy, so he was more of a Karlaftis. And then last year, he closed out a lot of those sacks, so he went from 7 to 14. So he got stronger and just overall just better at finishing. I will go over some of his concerns, I guess. Strong blockers can slow him a little bit. So if anyone I think he needs to get better as counters. I think if he doesn't win from that initial get off, I think he has a little bit of trouble there. Some of the bigger tackles that stopped his initial move got him on skates a little bit. So he does need to get a little stronger in rush defense too. But he's a home run hitter. I mean, you're getting him for that. I mean, even if, let's say, like, oh God, yeah, the best tackles are going to stop him and he's going to have trouble. Okay, well, the best of the best tackles are going to stop a lot of DNs from getting to the quarterback. If he can dominate everyone except for the elite tackles, which, I mean, freaking count with your hand anymore about who that is, right? Like, when Trent Williams is still demanding $40 million a year and he's like 38 years old. So, I mean, elite tackles, there aren't that many of them around anymore. So if he can dominate everyone except for elite tackles, he's dominating most of the tackles in the league. So yeah, I mean, I would be great to get him at 9. I think so you said him and Bain. I think it's between him and Reese. I just think Reese is that like mystery. Can we unlock him to become the next blank?
Yeah. See, but for me,
I don't agree with it. I think that's how the league sees him, though.
Yeah. See, and for me, because Reese can do it all. Like, you can move him back to his real position and he'll still be fine. He'll still be elite at that position.
Sure.
Because he's just that athletic. But we're talking about purely as edge as we know it.
Yeah.
Bailey and Bain are the two guys. That's not even a question.
I think so. I agree with you there. I do think anyone that drafts Reese, especially top 5, they're doing it to probably give him a shot at edge first to see if he could fail there and then move him back to his position. But I think if they're drafting that high, they probably are going to try to draft him as a rusher. And I think he wants to play rush. I think he said that too. So, yeah. I will say David Bailey faced off against 2 future first rounders this year, Fano and I always butcher his last name. Arizona State. They both handled him pretty well in that game. So that's where I think a lot of the criticism comes from, about like facing way better tackles out there. They did a really good job against him. So I guess that's maybe some of the concerns that people have. He has the second highest. I saw this recently too. He has the second highest edge production score since 2022, only second to Will Anderson. So he's in elite company. I have no problem drafting him at 9. I don't care about he's not the typical Spags DN, whatever the hell that means anymore, or what, like, to, not to have double-digit sacks. That's the typical. Is that the typical Spags DN nowadays? I don't know what constitutes.
There's a lot of pressures, not enough sacks.
Yeah,
no juice.
But what they're saying is, Spags defensive ends, you got your hand in the dirt, you're not really standing up. But this guy, Spags, he'll do whatever as far as to make adjustments to say, what are you comfortable with is what we're going to use. And it's when you take a guy like him. A lot of people, compared him to Nick Benito and him coming off the edge. It's kind of who, they say he is. And when you watch him, he has some of the same movements. That's why I talk like the herky-jerky thing. When I first started just looking at him, I'm like, I don't know about this guy. And I just started looking, and I was like, okay. I'm like, wow. All right. He was then showing me some things that showed he was an elite company. I'm like, oh, yeah, this dude is the truth. Because some of those concerns, right, Tage, and look, any person we bring up, anybody's going to be drafted. There's going to be strengths and weaknesses that everybody's going to pick apart. Just
Sure.
You're going to see that.
Yeah.
And guess what? In this game, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
Sure.
It's just the way it works. So, yeah, he'll get stifled. But guess what? He's going to win a whole lot more than he gets stifled. So we're paying a guy like him and Bain and everybody else that's a pass rusher. We're paying you to get 10 to 12 sacks. We're looking for 12 sacks from you. All right? If you're a first-round pick, number 9, that's what we're looking for. We want you to be effective and to be in a disruptor.
Yeah.
In any type of offensive system that you run, okay? And it doesn't matter what it is. But if this guy comes out here and plays for the Chiefs, we're expecting him to be a game changer immediately when he gets off the bus, off the plane. When he comes out and he puts that jersey on the field, we know what he's out there to do. So that's why you take a guy like this at number 9.
Yeah.
So,
and I think he meshes well with what we need. I think two most concerning things, or two things that I want in an edge right now, is a different type of pass rusher than we have. He checks that box.
Mhm.
And not being a liability against the run. He checks that box. So he is out of the gate, a 3-down D end on the other side of Karlaftis. And that's exactly what we should be looking for.
yeah.
We have a question in the chat. If we move up for an edge, who would you prefer between Bain or Bailey?
Bain, I would. I prefer. I think versatility. I think Bain just brings a lot more for what we ask, and because his versatility, that's what, at least for me, gives him the nod over Bailey. Because he can stop the run, because he can play 4-eyed and everything else outside of that. And same thing, disruptor. I think he's going to get better. He has a relentless motor. Everything that, you want in defensive end, man, Bain's going to be able to give you, right? And it's always his arms. All his arms. And all. It's always that. Okay?
Arms gate.
Yeah. So, but David Bailey, to me, man, pure pass rusher, he's the guy that you put on the edge and just say, man, just watch him beat this tackle, okay? And the full game, he'll figure it out. And we just need for him to beat him once or twice. That's it.
Yeah.
Twice. So give him fits the entire game.
I don't want to move up at all. So I'll just say that. I don't want to move up at all. But I think if I did, I know the arm length thing. I just think I think I'd rather go Bain. I think Bain is because here's the thing. Let's say they both bust at end. Bain, you can still start the next 8-10 years at tackle if you want to, right? So you're not doing that with Bailey. Bailey's edge rusher or bust.
Mm-hmm.
But Bain, you could kick inside. He's alignment versatile. I think that matters for us too. And I think Bain also has, bend aside, I think Bain has the bend. I think Bain has gotten. Here's a difference, right? Bain's negative or concern is is his arm length. It has nothing to do with his play. And he's spent his entire college career tailor making his game around his arm length. So it's not a concern for him. Like he's already adjusted to that, right? So he doesn't really have a weakness in his game because he's already adjusted for his arm length. And he counters you. He's ready for you. It's almost like he knows a lineman's trying to take advantage of his arm length, and he's got this quick hands where he just clubs your arms really fast, and then you're a lineman, you're kind of lunging forward, and he's got you at that point, right? So, I mean, this isn't Bane, but I would go Bane.
Yeah, Bailey had a pass rush win rate of 23% and a pressure rate of 20% as well. So I mean, he's a certified quarterback getter. So
it's a beast.
Yeah. All right, so now let's get to our second prospect of the night, Sonny Styles, linebacker. Ooh, man. The chat's going to go wild once they see this.
All right, well, Sonny Styles, okay, named after, it's his nickname, by the way. And you know who it's named after? Right, guess. How many Sonnies do you know?
Sonny from Godfather?
That's right.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's who he's nicknamed after.
That's James Caan's character, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So on the freak list, obviously, killed the combine. I'm not going to go over, his combine stats. He's clocked at 23 miles per hour in practice, squat 675. He's got the measurables, his top athlete, team leader, team captain, 4 years of experience, and will be 21 years old during the season. So he's got a ton of experience and he's relatively young. Let's see. He started at safety in 2023. Last year's a linebacker. So he's had a huge jump at the position, even though he's relatively new at it. But you could see it kind of coming through. I want to go. They asked him about, I'm trying to find it. They asked him about his switch, and he said, so they sat him down a couple of years ago and told him, because of our stacked defense, how would you feel about playing linebacker switching? And he was like, I'm all for it. What do we have to do? So they just figured out that gain 15, 20 pounds and start linebacker instead. And he just became, an all-American, just dominant linebacker after picking him. And you can see him when he moves. He's got those safety hips, the way he turns for balls. So he's a safety in a linebacker's body. It's pretty crazy. And what's crazy about him is too, he's still so raw at linebacker, which is good and bad. It's good because of how far he's come in such a short time. It's incredible. I guess bad because he still does have some stuff to work on. Because you want to finish product at 9. He had an 18% missed tackle rate in 2024, 17 in total, but followed up with 2 missed tackles last year. So his weakness going into the season, he just cleaned up. More of a pop and go guy. So he does get caught up in blocks with bigger O linemen. That's not a huge, he can get through that. Again, he's pretty brand new to a position. He had 6 sacks in 2024, so he's effective in blitzing. So you could also use it in there. 87 coverage grade in 2025, 87 run defense grade in 2025. He can play man. He can play the short zone. Extremely high floor. I don't think he's going to be a bust. He can, like I said, man-to-man cover. I'll go bottom line with him. So is linebacker our top need? No. It is a need. We didn't get a replacement for Leo. Drew's a free agent after the year. Bolton is a top 3 paid linebacker. And if we do find ourselves in a position where we have to get out of his contract in a year, you have your franchise linebacker waiting in the wings right there. He is a blue chip player in a draft without a lot of blue chip players. So it really comes down to, as a fan or as someone in the war room, when you're pounding the table, are you saying, is linebacker a big enough need, combined with the fact that he might be by far the best player on the board for us at 9? Is that enough to take linebacker? Because just like the Downs conversations, right? You're not drafting a safety. Just like you're not drafting a linebacker, you're drafting someone who can help elevate your entire defense. And I think that just means more than just saying he's a linebacker or he's a safety. If you're talking about a special player who has that kind of ceiling, then I think you kick away the whole positional premium position stuff. Only thing working against him is the way the league's going as far as linebackers really aren't getting paid right now. Devin Lloyd's one of the youngest and best linebackers in the NFL, and he signed for 14 per season. I think like 8 or 9 below the top paid linebacker, was Fred Warner. So that's the one drawback for him. He has to be special in order to really warrant that number 9 pick. So you're betting on him being special, and anything below that, it's kind of hard to justify 9. Like if he becomes, I hear a comp for him, like on his lower end comp. Obviously, everyone keeps saying Fred Warner for him, but come on, like you're comparing yourself to the best linebacker in the league. That's an easy comp. Let's say he becomes Tremaine Edmonds, right? That's a guy's name I hear come up a lot. If he does become Tremaine Edmonds, it's not a bad thing. Edmonds is a very good linebacker. But are you taking Edmonds at 9? Like that's the thing, right? Like you have number 9, you take Edmonds at 9, probably not. You're going to do a redraft. But obviously your mind's set higher than that. You want him to be Fred Warner and whatnot. Very, very good defensive player, and he could elevate our defense. I guess if this all just depends how the board falls, really. I mean, I see him go as high as 4 to teams, 4 to 5, 4 to 6 range. People say the Commanders won't let him go past 7. So still a high chance he won't make it to us. But if he does, because the draft falls in very mysterious ways, it's an interesting conversation to have.
JD, your thoughts?
I've never really had my mind on Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
9, it just haven't. Because like you said, I don't think we really have a need. If you get a Sonny Styles here, you get rid of Drew Tranquil immediately. Or you're saying he's going to be Boston's going to be sitting back, and you put him right there, like you said, Leo Chanel, and you run your traditional 4-3 if that's what you're going to do. That would have to be your direction. I do agree with you that once he steps on the field, he makes your defense better. He's just that type of player. But you got to find a space for him. You do. That's the thing about a guy like him, where other teams do have a need for a guy like him. I don't know if the Chiefs is saying, okay, well, we had to go and get this guy right here at that position just for that. Because I truly do believe, okay, because this is a team game, it's a team sport. It is working in conjunction around everybody else too. Okay, basketball, you can have a freak player who's just great, and it can come out on the field and change the game. You can. Football is not quite like that. That's why Downs is a great player. Don't get me wrong on that, but he still needs people around him, especially in the NFL, to be great. Because everybody out there is great in the NFL. It's just the reality of it. It's not college anymore. And so when you go to the elite of the elite, you're going to see exactly why the elite of the elite is what the NFL, the standard of it. I just never really looked at Sonny Styles as being number 9. I just haven't. But it is an interesting conversation. It is. I never really thought about it before, Taish. But like you said, if he's going to do something like that, it would be he's going to come in and he's going to play immediately right now.
Oh, yeah.
You don't put him on the bench at all.
I wasn't at all either, especially after his combine performance, after he absolutely slayed it. Everyone's okay, so his floor is 5. I've seen him creep up on prominent analyst mock drafts to us, which I was like, I feel like I have to talk about him now because, if he's getting, if he does drop a little bit and the board falls just right, they're definitely going to consider. Let's say, I think I talked to Marcus about this recently. Let's say their overall board, right? Veach's entire board.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Styles is 3 on it, and let's say the next guy on that list who's available is number 12 or 13. In that position, slightly more needed. What do you do there? Do you just go the number 3 guy on your board because you're at 9? You never know when you're going to be back at 9 ever again with this roster with Mahomes. You're just like, you know what? We have a chance to get our 3rd guy on the board overall. Do we just do that even though maybe this other position's a higher need than linebacker? Do we just say, screw it? That's kind of the conversation I think is going to be an issue if that happens.
Yeah. And you know, if you're not meeting your needs, right, you get a guy who's kind of a luxury at that position. Still, let's say you don't get your defensive end or your rush guy, or you don't get your safety and your corners like you want to. That's going to be the need. That's still going to provide holes. Holes are still going to be there. Still going to be a lack. It's like, hey, man, we got a really great player here, but what does our line do? Same thing. Sonny Styles, as a linebacker, will shoot. Can he shoot the gap if our D-line is not open up the holes for him? Can he run sideline to sideline if we're not getting up there and we letting the offensive line get to the second level? So all those things got, like I said, you got to work in conjunction with what you're doing and your players around you. I mean, that's team sport. That's what football is all about, man. Like I said, you could have a guy who's a stud and he could disappear. I mean, he'll still show up, right? Because he's
sure.
A stud. But it's like, yeah, we're still lacking. It's like this is a problem, an issue we didn't address. And I say this, this is what happened this past year. We didn't address the D-line. We didn't address it. We had studs all over the place, right? We knew we had a good secondary. Our linebackers was good, but we didn't get the pass rush that we needed.
We didn't address a lot of things.
Well,
we got a lot of holes, man.
We do. I think some kind of revealed itself that we didn't, at least I didn't think. You know, I thought where we would play better, we actually didn't. It was kind of a, down season for us. That was particularly offensive line. I thought it was going to be much better offensive line than we wanted. Same thing wide receiver wise. I think everybody was looking for the jump from, Worthy, then Rice get back, and Hollywood Brown. And, we was talking about tossing the ball down the field. And there was, obviously glimpses of it. Then it was like, hey, man, what's going on? What's happening here? The running backs and all, so it was a lot. It was a lot when you have a team that, wins 6 games. There's going to be some things you need to address. So that's why I say you got to be in particular, like the things that that you lack in, you got to go get. So imagine we got that offensive line and we didn't go get Josh Simmons. We still had to go play with him, but then all of a sudden Chu Godric had to play, and then all of a sudden, we found something in Issa Foley. That was great just to find that. But man, it's 8 games we missed. He's like, shoot, we got you here for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I find Styles to be kind of a fun. It'd be a fun pick just to kind of see him in a room with, Spags, have him next to Bolton. I mean, you could have him cover. We'll never hear anyone dog his coverage ability like they do with Bolton. That's a cool thing. And also and have him next to like Bolton. They would complement each other so well. I think Bolton and him would, and I think that'd be an awesome duo. And then Leo. I mean, I think Styles would be kind of like a Leo on steroids kind of dude, because he could do a lot of what Leo could do and then some. And then some. Yeah. So like,
I hope he plays more than Leo.
Well, yeah. Hopefully I think if they draft him at 9, they utilize him. Hopefully more so they utilize.
Yeah,
Leo.
I would hope so.
But yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, I hope they go for a need more so than this. And if that's the case, like your scenario 3 or number 3 guy on the board, versus our 12th guy on the board, trade back, get some more compensation, get some more assets. If that's the case, if that's the situation, then trade back to the mid-teens, pick up an extra 3rd or 4th or something. I don't know.
Because you got to think, and as I was writing this up, I was thinking about this. We were ready to part ways with Drew. Drew restructured his contract and just took less money. That means they gave him an ultimatum, like, do this or you're out, you're gone. So we were ready to be left with just Bolton and Bossa. That's it. Like, think about that. So if we did that, I mean, would you be saying the same thing about our need not being as high on linebacker?
No, not then it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because then all of a sudden you only got Bossa and Bolton. And Bossa is one that, didn't play a lot last year, and you're still like, hey, hopefully it's guys who we think he's going to be.
Yeah.
But you get a guy like this young guy, and you got Bolton, who's the chi master of everything. You make sure those guys are right. So
yeah, Drew's only here for one more year at max, though, so keep that in mind. Like,
I'll tell you what, I know we didn't get to see Bossa, but between Bossa, Bolden, and Styles, that's 3 badass linebackers that we'd have for a good while, man. I mean, just based on the potential of Bossa, just based on his potential with those 2 other guys, man, be nasty.
Oh yeah.
No more tight ends and running backs abusing us.
Yeah,
that's not happening anymore with those guys.
That's true.
So,
all right, so let's get out of the top 10 guys. Let's go to maybe 29, maybe pick 40. I got Cashius Howell as my prospect tonight. So Cashius Howell is one of those guys. We talk about our pass rush problem. He's a dude who's a certified pass rusher. That's about all he is. That's one of the knocks. That's why he would probably be a potential 29, potential 40th guy. Just a rotational edge rusher on passing downs, which I'd probably rather have him at pick 40 rather than pick 29 if I had my druthers on it. But let's go to some of the numbers. So as metrics in 2025, Howell posted 11.5 sacks, 14 TFLs, and 41 pressures against SEC competition, earning SEC Defensive Player of the Year honors and unanimous All-American recognition. Howell finished the 2025 season with a 90.3 pass rush grade from PFF, ranking 26th out of 850 edge rushers. His pass rush win rate was 19.9%, which would be right in the range of elite NFL pass rushers, totaling 41 pressures. 2023, since 2023, he's racked up 80 pressures and has stacked high-end PFF grades year over year since being in college. Some of his traits: Howell wins the violent first step, elite bend, and a redefined pass rush arsenal, speed, power, and a dangerous spin move. Spin move's phenomenal, and if you guys watch his highlights, he's got a nasty spin move. However, concerns here. We're gonna go back to our guy Ruben Bain. Like Ruben Bain, his arm length ain't the best. So we're talking about a guy who's got a very tiny arm length. But like I said, concerns. He's not going to stop the run. He's not that predictable Spags guy. He's literally just a come in there on passing downs kind of dude. That's why it's like, okay, pick 40, I can see this. But at pick 29, I'd be kind of upset if we drafted him at pick 29. But 40, I'd love that pick. Now, although I've seen since the combine, once they measured his arms, I feel like he's dropped a little bit because he was supposed to be like in teens at first. The first mocks came out. And now I'm seeing like mid-20s to potentially late second. So he's kind of all over the place. Not good against the run, short arms. But yeah, those are pretty much the only things that kind of knocks against him. Those are big things. Those are big knocks. But as far as solving a guy, if we can't get one of the elite pass rushers that pick number 9, and we, maybe draft him with another edge rusher, another DN in the draft, so you can have a little bit of a guy who is the kind of the Spags guy, but then you also have the elite pass rush dude like him. I love that. So that means two things for me is like, okay, we're kind of solving our edge problems. We're going to get 2 edge rushers in this draft class. However, he's more of a specialist in that, where he's just a pass rush getter. That's if we miss out on the elite dudes at the top 10. So Cashius Howell would be a guy I'd be very, very happy with at pick 40.
No, I think good pick at 40. I mean, he is a pass rusher. He's not very powerful at all. But he's a pass rusher. He's kind of in those categories, the guys that we know who are just pass rushers in this draft, right? It's like, hey, yeah, we don't get the main guys. Here's the second tier dudes that if you want to try to get, sacks and pressures, this guy right here is going to be able to do it. And so Cashius Howell, I think you're right, Marcus. I don't think I've ever seen him in the teens, at least in my projections of what I've seen guys do. I think I've always seen him like late first, early second round, kind of where he's kind of fallen. I guess it all depends on, who's still on the board and what you're going to have.
Yeah, it was pre-combine teens. I saw like 17, 18 range. Okay. And then after that now he's been in the 20s to a mid-second.
Yeah. Right.
It was before he had historically short arms.
Hey, try Adam with short arms, huh?
I mean, isn't it the shortest arms of like ever for an edge rusher?
I believe so.
Yeah, it's like historic, which is crazy because like you have like Bane and him, two of the shortest arms in the same combine. It's weird. Yeah. You know what else is weird? Let me ask you this, JD. What's your opinion? How come he didn't get remeasured at his pro day? Because a lot of guys' pro days measurements have been longer than the combine.
Yeah.
So why not do it? So why not like even get like a quarter inch back?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know why.
I heard a theory on this.
Go ahead. I want to hear the theory.
The theory was if you get measured at the combine, everyone's questioning the combine measurements of how real they are, then people can always second guess the combine measurement and never know how short his arms actually are. If he measures at the pro day in a controlled environment and it's only like a quarter inch longer, then like it's 100% known that you have short ass arms. Like you can't blame the combine anymore. You got short arms, dude.
So here, okay. So this is how, like in the combine, you know, you get the official where everybody NFL is the consensus, like, yeah, this is what this guy is, right? You got your main guy who's measuring, and that's all you do is measure. When you get to your pro day, it's your trainer and those guys is doing the measurements, right? It's usually those guys. That's okay. He's 31 and a quarter. He's not 30 and a quarter, right? And it's like, wait a minute, hold on, we check. And it's like, no, we got it here. Okay, we can control that environment. So you can have it where you can control your environment at your pro day as much as possible, right? There's some the things that teams will do that may ask you to do, but they're still beholden to how you want to set up your pro day and what it is that you want to be able to do. So I noticed I had 16 teams that came to my pro day, and I remember it was just they was asking me to do different things. And so at a certain point, this guy was like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, y'all trying to do too much. You got this guy over here, you know, this team asking to do this team asking to do that, this team asking, and y'all, the whole time, y'all just trying to wear him out. That's all y'all doing. Y'all trying to get out of him what y'all can get out of him, but he's out here to put on the show for everybody, okay? You can't come in here and want him to do bear crawls all of a sudden to see how, you know, how big his thighs are and how his quickness, because you want to do it, Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? I pull up Minnesota because Minnesota had me doing some other stuff, man. I was just like, what are we doing here? But this is you can kind of control that environment for pro day at your facility. So I don't know why he didn't measure. I really don't know why.
Bane didn't either.
Yeah. Well, see, so this and I think at a certain point, you just got to embrace it. Okay, fine. I got short arms. Look at my tape. What does my tape say?
Yeah.
What does that say?
Maybe they just want people to forget.
Yeah. What is another half inch really going to matter to you all? Is that really going? Oh, okay. That makes me. Oh, well, shoot. All right. Now you ain't 20. Now you're 9. Well, you're 5. Off a quarter inch. If you're saying that and the team that's the argument you're making, you're not a serious person. You're not a serious team. You're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I need a baller, and I'll be the guy. Be like, man, I don't give a dag. I don't care how long your arms are. I've seen you sit there and make sacks and pressures. That's all I needed to see. And I've had coaches when I was pro day. Some coaches are like, I've seen all I need to see. I don't need to see nothing else. Now I had coaches be like that. I'm like, I'm done. I've seen what I need to see out of Jason Dunn.
Yeah. No more questions, Your Honor.
No, right. So we good. Yeah.
The defense rests.
The defense rests. Matter of fact, the defensive rest took me.
Yeah, there you go.
They did.
They really rested.
Yeah.
They backed it up. They went home. For that recess. Took a nap.
Yeah. I ran a 4.4, 4.49. They had me at the clock at like 4.52. They was like, yeah, we good. We straight. You don't need to see nothing else. Shoot.
So yeah, just quick thoughts around Howell that you haven't discussed already. The run defense thing, again, not for lack of effort. He tries really hard.
Mhm.
I mean, and he's a powerful dude for his size. I mean, he can lay the friggin' wood. He hits, man. His 3 better opponents. So in a stretch of Notre Dame, Texas, Miami, 64 pass rush snaps, 0 sacks, 2 QB hits, 4 hurries. So in some of the bigger games against pretty good opponents, didn't really step up to the plate. Didn't really have his best games against them. But a high motor, a crazy array of moves. He gets Nick Herbig comps because of the arm length, because Nick Herbig's arms are short too. But Herbig had 6-7 sacks this year, so okay, he's fine. Obviously, if arm length wasn't a thing, he gets a lot of Von Miller comps, like highest end if arms is not a problem. But I'd say pure pass rushers, he's probably top 3 in the draft. He like you said earlier though, he's a different kind of pass rusher. He's like the pure just first step speed mixed with some power sometimes, right? And I think you have him. I think Bailey falls into that category, and I think R. Mason Thomas falls into that category. And then after that, you have a lot of the edge setters. One you're going to talk about soon. So the really powerful edge setters. I think there's a lot of those guys in this draft, but there aren't a lot of these kind of guys. I'd say Malachi Lawrence would also fall into this too.
What about Spence? I put Spence maybe in that as well. I like Spence because of he has a little bit of that quickness as well. And he's like I said, second tier type of guys.
Yeah, I'd say. I think you're trying to think of one more. There's another speed guy I'm forgetting too. I can't remember, but yeah. But I think I don't think he'll make it to 40. That'd be great. Unless, hey, I mean, look, if Bain fell from 3 to 9. I guess Howell can fall from the early 20s to 40 with even shorter arms, right? So I think that's doable. But I'd say if you're going to get him, you probably have to get him on at 29 if we're going to do that, or trade up from 40. And no, he's not a full time. He's probably not a full time edge to start. But I think he checks that box we talked about with Bailey. He gives us something we don't have. Like a guy just to be get the quarterback in these next couple plays, right? And he'll do that. So he's a definite rotational DN, which has a lot of value. Hey man, Boye Mafe was a rotational DN last year, and he's top 10, top 15 highest paid DNs now. So it's okay. If you have a lot of DNs who do different things, that's good. We have a powerful rusher, right? We have Karlaftis who's more power. We have FAU who's I don't know what category he falls in, but Gelati, powerful, right? You want a speed guy. You want to be able to just have a tackle adjust to one kind of rusher, and then you throw Howell in there who's just speed demon around you. So I think he would definitely bring something fresh to our edge room for sure.
Bain at 9, Hal at 40. Let's bring on the short arms edge rush room.
I mean, could you think of a cooler top 2 guys to draft as far as names go than Sonny Styles and Cashius Howell?
Yeah, I'd like
sounds that. Sounds like a 70s disco band, man.
All right, so let's get into, I think, the other guy. You mentioned a different type of edge rusher, a different type of defensive end is Zion Young. JD, tell us about Zion Young.
I tell you what, man, Zion Young, 6'6", 262. What you see right here, Vert, and I want people to get kind of understand this. What I look at as far as measurables on vertical and broad jump, I look for explosion. Okay, that's what they measure, explosion, and kind of quickness and speed at fast twitch. Zion Williams he's a wrecking ball. I love how he plays. He's very heavy-handed. He's very powerful. Sets the edge. when I watch him just push tackles back, I mean, he's throwing guys in the quarterback's lap. But that's what he has, his bull rush. That is his premier rush, is his bull rush. He didn't really have a mixed bag of moves. Even coming off the football, it's not like he's not jumping out of his cleats. He's just coming with power. He does have, a few things he can kind of, I've seen him on film do a spin move on the guard. I'm like, okay, well, shoot. If you've done it once, you could do it again. So I think he does has a little bit of that ability to him. He's kind of like who I said Keldrick Falk is. Keldrick Falk is the reason I think he's higher for me is because Keldrick Falk is a younger guy. He has a higher ceiling, more athletic. And Zion Young is just he's a sledgehammer. That's what he is. He's a sledgehammer. Great against the run. He's got a lot of pressures because of his bull rush. He's got long arms, and he can keep guys off of him. That's another thing that he does well. But when you look at him, he's not overly athletic. What you see is what you're going to get from Zion Young, okay? And that means he comes in, he's going to be ready to go, full speed, full tilt the entire time. He's not going to slow down, not one bit, not one play. He is bringing it each and every snap. And that's what you want, okay? He's a killer out there at defensive end. He is. But the thing is, for somebody like him, he may not beat you around the edge. He might not get around the guy, but he's going to ask you to run straight through a dude. That's what he'll do. But that's why I like Zion Young. I think he's a spectacular defensive end. I think he's more so in the 29th range. I had him at 29. And actually, when I put him at 29, they gave him a B rating. And I was like, a B? I was like, okay. But I think he's wanted to be at the end of the first round, early second. I think it's really where he falls. But like you were saying, Tage and Marcus, these defensive ends, you have these different tiers of edge, defensive end, and these guys kind of mix in between. And Zion Young, he could kind of do the same thing for an eye, kind of move out. Bain, Keldrick Falk, all those type of guys, the bigger dudes that's good against runs, stout against those guys, and got tremendous power. He just doesn't have the turnover speed that you want and that quickness. And when you look at the measurements on vert and broad, that's exactly what it shows, where those things are and how it falls. So go ahead.
I mean, outstanding. Run defender. I think I saw his PFF grade is like a 96 against the run. So like he is the. I mean, he's like as talking about Spags guys. He is a legitimate Spags dude who can a good run stopping edge. If you have him at 29 and you get a Cashius Howell at 40, we're talking about there you go. You have the two different types of hitters right there from the defensive end spot. And you saw the pass rush with Howell, and then you have a guy like this who can kind of stop the run, and having those two guys. I mean, it'd be nice to have obviously with the guy like him to have the edge rush force with him. But yeah, if we're talking about a guy who's prototype of Spags, dude, this is Zion Young, and again. We need D-line help, so any help is great help. Yeah, he may not have the pass rush moves in his bag, but he brings a sense of tenacity that we would be ideal on D-line. I think I saw one of his player comps is Cam Jordan. I'll take a Cam Jordan-esque type guy.
Juice right there, I'm telling you. Yeah, he's got attitude. He plays with attitude, man. So he's one of those that just stays hype all the time. That you don't have to worry about having to wind up to get ready. He's just always there. He's on 10. Are we on 10 yet? Yes, we are. We're already on 10.
But Tasia, I'll let you talk about his character concerns because there's some character concerns in his past with Zion Young. So I'll let you go on that.
I have nothing to say about it. I mean, I've heard he's one of the best teammates and guys in the locker room you can have. I mean, he's a guy you want. I mean, every review I've ever read and heard about him says he's a guy you want in your locker room. So I don't know what kind of mistake he made earlier on in his life, but
okay.
I've heard nothing.
He got a DWI in 2025 in a when he was at Michigan State in an assault charge, a misdemeanor assault charge.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So young stuff. I mean, JT and Tiger Woods both them jokers just got hit with something, man. Come on. So, hey, we can look past Zion a little bit. He's all right. I think you make it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. That's the number one thing I've read on him is just an insane guy you want in your locker room. You want him in there. He's a football player. He's a good teammate. Edge setter, right? He's an edge setter. That's the kind of TJ Parker type of DNs. There's a lot of those guys in this draft. He's been moving up the charts though on everyone's boards. It was for a long time like the 50s, 60s, and the 40s and 30s. Now he's like in the early mid 20s because he showed a lot more juice this year. He improved his draft stock a lot. He tested really well. He did well at the bowl game and the practices. On one-on-ones, he was taking dudes to town on the one-on-ones.
He was.
He's lineman versatile. He's got good arm length. He's relentless. 25.6 win rate on true pass sets. He has a nice. You're right. He doesn't have a lot of moves. He's got a good inside move though. When he keeps doing the bull rush to the outside, and then he has like an inside swipe. He got to the quarterback a few times doing that. But with a guy like that, who you can't question his effort and motor and his willingness to play, I think you're seeing the NFL buy into him and bet him on raising draft boards because they're betting on him improving. And he's been improving in college and he'll continue to improve in the NFL. So I think it's the kind of guy you'd like to bet on. I think he'd have to be the 29. I don't think he's going to make it to 40. But yeah, I mean, some limitations there, but I think again, it's the kind of guy you want to bet on. A little more Karlaftis redundancy, a little more just like bull rush type guy, not a lot of moves, more pure effort. But you know what? I mean, again, like we kind of bet on Karlaftis improving, right? When we drafted him to be a better player, when we got him in the late 20s. So, hey, I mean, you do a lot worse than two Karlaftises coming at you on the edge. Okay. So, yes, I still think you would need a designated pass rusher. But just a speed guy who just goes in there on third downs every so often just to create more matchup. But I think Zion and George on the edges, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I'm seeing a comment here. UG1123 says, so we lied today. Lemon is toxic, but Young had a DWI at the combine. It's okay.
I was defending Lemon, by the way, during that thing. I didn't think I said the press conference thing was weird. I didn't think it was that bad. And that's not me. It's mostly the scouts didn't like his interviews. I mean, Zion, despite that, probably interviewed better.
Eugene,
I mean, like,
hold on, man. Eugene, man, look, we just joking, okay? Obviously, DUI is not okay, brother. Okay, it's not. All right, lighten up, man. We want some jokes out here. That's it. every little concern. Look, they're gonna pick everything apart, okay? And teams will bring this up. Is this guy mature enough? Yeah, he's a great locker room guy, rah and stuff like this. But they want to know: is this going to be an ongoing problem? That's what teams are going to ask him about. Hey, what about this DWI? What happened? It's just a lapse in judgment this time. Is it something you always do? You just get away with? So they'll go through it. They will. So we just joking, Yuji. Come on, brother.
The interview says a lot.
It does.
The interviews say a lot. Like, it's the story you don't hear about. Like, how is he when you get him into a room? Is this a guy you want to invest in? Because this is an investment. And for a league that didn't, I mean, that free agency dried up real quick. People stopped spending money because the draft is pretty much like the real second wave of free agency. Those are a lot of teams making their biggest acquisitions are through the draft. So it's a huge investment. So yeah, I mean, that interview process is important. And if the guys that give you good vibes in that interview, I mean, you can either excuse a DWI or you could say, I don't care if he doesn't have a record. I didn't like him. You know what I mean? A guy could have a clean record and you can still not like him. Right.
Right.
So.
Right. And guys make mistakes. People make mistakes, and it's like, hey man, did you learn from it? That's what we want to know. Or,
yeah.
Hey, yeah, they used to call me this one time. But yeah, I like, a couple beers here and every once in a while. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me go on Mark him on off. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in, man.
Right.
All right, so let's go to our next guy. Tasia is going to talk about Denzel Boston.
Yeah, so this is a number 29 target. I do not think he'll make it to 40, although that'd be fantastic. So 22 years old. He had a 6'8" cone, a 4.28 shuttle, and a 37.5 vertical at his pro day. All this to say he is 6'4" and 210, 215. He's a friggin' monster. Best run blocker in the draft out of the receivers. Big body, good at tracking. He was even used out of the backfield. He returned punts. Go watch his punt return for a touchdown. I think a guy who's 6'4" and 215 can return punts. Okay. 93% percentile contested catch. 90 percentile grade versus man, 90 grade versus man. Last 2 seasons, 20 TDs, 11 TDs last season. Good route runner for his size. They put him in the slot. He even works with the zone. 50th percentile separation. Not bad for a guy that, again, that size. You don't usually see that crisp route running from a 6'4", 215 guy. Some people question his speed, but again, if you can return punts for touchdowns, you have speed. There's no other way around it, right? He's been riding up the boards too. He was a guy that was maybe in the 40s, 50s. Now he's pretty entrenched in those 20s. He's Chris Sims' #1 receiver in the draft. Daniel Jeremiah has him 25th overall prospect. Connor Rogers has him 18th overall prospect. McShay absolutely loves him, calls him the best receiver and could be the best receiver in the class. Bottom line on him is a lot of people are getting scared because they're calling him Keon Coleman. And look, he's a big body like Keon, but he doesn't just rely on a big body to try to outsize people, which he does do really well. He's a good route runner for his size. He's got good wiggle and good speed for his size. He can separate. What he is for us, he's a true X receiver who's dealt with press coverage 55% of the time. And he's done well in it too. So he can take on press. He can be that outside X. I don't know if you're running the offense through him, but he is your starting X day one. He can win inside of our zone. We don't have anything like him. We're talking about adding guys for variance who we don't have. We don't have a him. And we're going to grab another position outside of receiver at 9, let's say Bain or someone else or Downs. I'd be very happy grabbing Boston at 29 to be our X. The comps are really interesting. Okay. So you get Drake London a lot. That's obvious. You can kind of see that. He gets that a lot. Obviously he gets, now a grain of salt, Mike Evans, just because his size and what he's and his savviness and quickness for his size. I also saw Michael Thomas meets T. Higgins mix. And then here's a key one. Miles Austin comp.
Okay.
Man, Miles Austin can ball. People make jokes about that. I was like, dude, give me Miles Austin as our ex, man. No joke. I'd love Miles Austin. Miles Austin was bigger dude, but he had wiggle to him. He can move. He was slippery and sneaky. I think that's kind of what he provides.
I like Denzel Boston. I do. He's always in that 29 range for me too. Anytime I do a mock, he's always. Anytime I try to pass him up, he's never there after 29. He's just not. And so that's the thing. Trying to get to 40, you might as well forget it. He's got great hands, silky smooth. He's a legit wide receiver. And I would say, like you said, he's a great compliment piece, maybe to your #1, right? Where you put him out on the side, almost I don't know, I want to say Michael Pittman, but it may be somebody that you.
That's another comp. Pittman with more wiggle is when I saw.
More wiggle, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's who he kind of reminds me of. He really does. No, but I like him. He's a great receiver. I love to have him in the first round. 29. If that's the way we had to go because we just needed to get that position group, that's what I would do. So I get up here.
I mean, we come away with Bain and Boston in the first round. I'm a happy man.
Yeah, I'm not mad at
We're
that.
popping bottles that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not mad at it.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about Boston, I do love his his contested catch rate, about 60-something%. I think that's something to talk about. For the last few years, right, we've been going to every offseason. We haven't really solved that X receiver, right? We brought in Ross. We thought Ross could be the answer to our prayers. They just never really utilized him. And so my thing is, if we do draft a guy in round 1 in particular, or first 2 rounds, they're going to utilize him, right? We brought in Jason Brownlee last year. Looked good in training camp, looked good in preseason. Never really utilized him during the regular season. I don't even think how many times he actually dressed. But at the end of the day, if you draft a guy, if you place a high draft pick on a guy like that, they're going to utilize him, and they're going to have to kind of institute some new change in the offense and using a big body receiver. So, yeah, you draft Denzel Boston, you're telling me that you're actually going to utilize a big body guy finally. And maybe this is in preparation for years after Kelsey. This is kind of the new type of guy that we're going to have, a new type of offense.
We have Andrew Armstrong on a futures contract.
I saw that. Big body guy.
6'4", 200. He was the leading SEC receiver.
Yeah.
Like he was the guy in the SEC. You know why he got hurt by that, right? His age. He was old. He was an old prospect.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
That's why he slipped. Andrew Armstrong.
He was a big receiver from Arkansas.
Okay.
So he's like the Brownlee of this year, right? Futures deal guy.
I got you. Okay.
All right, so let's sticky in the same kind of category. Let's go receiver as well. So a guy who's probably going to go a little bit later after Denzel Boston. This guy is, I think I've seen picks in the range for a second, third round guy, but picks in the range of 45 to 112. So that's where a lot of people see him going. It's Jacoby Lane from USC. Fight on, victory. Red zone guy. We just talked about it right there. We JD and I and Tage have wanted a red zone dude you just throw it up to. We thought Josh Gordon was going to be it. They never utilized him in that way. We thought Justin Ross could be it. Never really utilized him in that way. Just didn't happen. But this guy is, I think I've heard him referred to as a red zone hammer. That was a guy that was one of the things they referred to him as at USC. Over the last 2 years, 16 touchdowns, most of it coming in the red zone. Back shoulder throws, just contested catches overall. Not to the highest extent as Boston, but he had a 46% contested catch rate. So not bad. I mean, not 60% like Boston, but again, this guy, you're going to draft him a round and a half later after Boston. So you got to deal with that. But 50-50 ball guy, just throw it up to him. He'll go get it. 6'4". And the one thing, too, that I like about him is that a lot of people are saying, oh, man, he's not as agile. He's not as athletic. Well, he ran a 4.47 at a 6'4" body type, right? And we're talking about Boston ran a 4.6. So we're talking about a guy who's faster than Boston at pretty good amount, too. So, a lot of people are just dogging his agility, and then he comes to the combine and ran a 4.47. So that was great. But just overall stats, he 99 career catches for 1,300 yards in 24 and 2025, including 12 touchdown breakout season and an 81.8 PFF receiving grade in 2025. That put him in the top tier college receivers in 2025. As I mentioned, the 46% contested catch rate. The combine 4.47, which shocked a lot of people. Jumped to 40-inch vertical and posted a 10'9" broad jump. So he did win over a lot of folks at the combine with what he put up. It's just interesting that people didn't expect that from him. I mean, if you watch some of his USC games, you could see he had some of this ability. And again, he was playing next to Lemon too, which I think some people said actually hurt him because he was going against number 2 cornerbacks most of the time, where Lemon was getting the top tier cornerback. But again, X receiver that we haven't had, he be it. Gives you a boundary target who can line outside, win in isolation, just dominates a man on man. Concerns for him, not a natural separator. Route tree still developing as he's been kind of pigeonholed into this kind of, the jump ball receiver guy, go up and get it. So there's not a lot there with him, but I think O'Shea, I mean, we have a legit wide receivers coach now. So I think you get a guy who has a talent like Jacoby Lane. I think he can fix him and add some elements into his game. So I do trust our coaching staff unbelievably with this. So yeah, we're talking third round. Sign me up for Jacoby Lane. If you don't get a receiver in the first 3 picks, go get him in round 3. So that's where I'm at with Jacoby Lane.
What you got, JD?
You know what? I looked at his film early and haven't really picked it up lately. You just hadn't really been on my radar as much. He's kind of like in those cluster of wide receivers that, is kind of out of the first, out of the second, and I'm looking for some other guys, but Jacoby Lane is the guy that when I did watch his film, I'm trying to just recollect what I did see. Like you said, Marcus, the deep ball guy, go up there and kind of go get it. I don't know if I was really just wowed at it. I can't really think of anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's a good receiver from what I remember watching him. So
one of the breakdowns I saw said he would be your number 1 pick in a flag football draft.
Maybe that's why I like him so much.
Yeah.
He was the 2022 Elite 11 tourney MVP. I think he was banged up this season, so that maybe goes to why he didn't just excel off the 12 touchdown season. Big guy who they also threw him some underneath gadget routes too, which is interesting. Another interesting little tidbit I saw that he was catching in games in the rain. He was catching just straight with his hands. Love that.
Yeah, he took the gloves off in those games. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the negatives. Doesn't consistently separate. Separation for single coverage, 13%. Drop rate, 34%. Contested catch rate, 66%. You already said that. Routes aren't detailed. His release packages aren't really that refined. He has a hard time getting off the line, especially if someone presses him. And yak per reception, 10th percentile. So he has a hard time doing something with the ball in his hands, not as creative. But again, we're talking about a guy that'll probably be a 4th round pick. So, if he had all these things answered, he would be, in the Denzel Boston range, right? So he's a guy your teams, do they believe in? Can they not take receiver really early and then take him in the 4th round and be like, we think we can get something similar out of Lane that we get out of Boston. So if they think that, Kyle Harrison, he's definitely more of a project for sure. I think he'd be the kind of guy you'd get if you also signed another receiver, right? If he was like your number 5, for what we need starting X. I think Boston would come in and be your starter. I think Lane would probably have to prove it a little more. They both have to prove it. I don't want to sound like that way, but I think Lane would have more of an uphill climb to get in. A lot more projection than he is.
That's why I mean you're getting Lane rounds later than Boston.
Exactly.
Expecting him right out the gate to be the dude at 29.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I like Lane though. I wouldn't be mad if we got Lane. Funny thing is, we're so thin right now that even though we get him in the 4th round, you got to use him because
that's what we talked about Royals last year, and that didn't really manifest.
We had better depth last year though, right?
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying, was last year any indication of drafting guys?
4th rounder. I know. Well, yeah, we have to use Royals this year for sure.
Hopefully,
he's got to play too. So, yeah, I like Lane. I think he's a good project prospect.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our final 3 here for the night. JD, take us away with the other receiver, Chris Bale.
Sir. Chris Bale. Bale. Louisville. Yes, sir. I tell you what, man. He was kind of a guy I watched in college. I seen him coming towards UK a couple of times. And I knew he had suffered an ACL tear. So I knew I thought the stock would drop more than what it has, because his injury was November the 22nd. I'm just like, okay, he's, trying to get him back running for training camp, all those different things. Is he going to be ready for the season to be full tilt? That's a question. That's a question you had to really actually ask. But as far as his ability and how's he going to look after this ACL tear is another one, right? How's he going to look?
Yeah.
But before that, when I'm telling you, this guy right here is a physical wide receiver that runs slant routes, over routes, vertical routes, everything that the Chiefs run. That's how Louisville's offense looked. Seriously, I'm like, but shoot, this is our bread and butter right here. The thing is, he's a strong kid. He's a strong guy. You look at it, right? He's 6'2", 222.
He's jacked.
He's jacked. You see him running against corners and stuff. They can't do anything with him. They can't. Once he decides to separate physically, he's winning that. That's just what it is. Okay. And then when he's talking about hitting another gear, when he's catching slant routes and over the ball and turning, and like when I'm telling you, like, get up and go, pick him up, put him down, man, I was shocked how this dude was just running past people and running away from them. And he was just like, he was just leaving people in the dust. He had no answer for it. And it's almost like he didn't even know he's running that fast. He just knew he's like, I got to go and get up and gone. That's what he did. We up and went. He was scoring touchdowns. But Chris Bell, man, is a physical wide receiver with good hands, making tough catches. I tell you what, man, without this ACL tear, he might have been thinking about a first-round pick. No doubt about it. The man ended up playing 11 games. He had 72 catches for whatever. What is it up here? 72, 917, 6 tubs. And he earned all of that. True outside X receiver, big body, possession type of guy. He would come into our offense and be a legitimate starter. No doubt about it. You could say Rashid Rice, Xavier Worthy, but Chris Bell is the guy that you say, let's put him on the outside. Let's have Rashid do what he does. And you will be those two guys and get X to do whatever in that as well. I think Jacoby Lane, y'all was kind of talking like him kind of fitting in. That would be kind of like the role Jalen Royals is at, right? It's kind of like where you fit in this thing. Are you going to crack the whole team code to be in and be productive and get some playing time? Chris Bell will come in and they'll put him on the other side and say, yeah, this guy right here is going to be a true baller. Only question I have, man, is the ACL. That's it. Bottom line is, when can he be able to come back? He's just kind of got that body like an A.J. Brown and all. He's just a powerful guy. He is. But I like him. I like him a lot. He's, like I said, he's got great hands. But without this ACL tear, he would definitely be a first-round pick. So I'm thinking if we can get him at 40, I'm fine with that. I would take a guy like this and say, yeah, we need a guy like this. True possession receiver.
If they drafted Chris Bell, to me, because when I watched him play, right, he reminded me a lot of Rashid Rice. I mean, his run after the catch is very, he's dangerous when it comes to run after the catch, and that's a lot of Rashid Rice's games, especially taking the short to intermediate stuff and getting yards after that. For me, if we drafted him, obviously it would fill a need for us now, but it would also kind of lend a hand to me, like, okay, well, maybe they are serious about moving on from Rashid Rice after the upcoming season. So I would definitely see him filling in that void of Rashid Rice in the future if they drafted Chris Bell. But it would feel a need for now and also in the future by drafting Chris Bell. So I would love it. I don't know what if he's going to play this year, how much time he's going to miss. I think I've read mixed reviews that he might be out for the whole season. He might come back mid-season, but I don't know what the status is. But you draft a guy like that, you probably you're drafting for the future. You're not drafting for just next year.
This guy looks like a football player, man. He's Yeah, he's they used him like DK Metcalf for the most part. Just an elite athlete. It's funny you compare their routes to Kansas City because a lot of people are in defense of Chris Bell have slaughtered the way they used him overall. Like didn't run a lot of real routes. Just like what was one of the things I read? I read a few funny tidbits. So of the 136 qualifying draft eligible receivers in college football, only 4 had a lower percentage of their targets come 20 plus air yards down the field than Bell. 50 of his 106 targets last season came 0 to 9 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Like that's crazy. They just like dumps. Mm-hmm. Against Virginia around midseason, they changed it up. He had a deep over route, a big completion, 3 back shoulder fades. He caught all 3 for big plays. He had a 12 for 170 and 2 touchdown game against them. Rest of the season, they reverted right back to the other way of using him. So for some reason, they just would not use him. And you see that a lot in college football, man. Like they don't. It's different than the NFL. The NFL drafts a guy. It used to be you're going to come in here and play our way. Over the many years in drafts, they've been grabbing guys that they think they can excel using a certain way, and not just say, okay, you play this and that's it. Well, then what's the point of drafting him if he's not going to excel at the way you want him to be used? College is just different. Like even though you're capable of more, well, I don't care. Your job is to clog that hole, and that's all you're going to do. Your job is to run that go, and that's your job, and that's it. Like I don't care if you can run comebacks and slants. Like that's not what you're here for. So I think that kind of something that got him. He averaged 10 yards after the catch on slants and crossovers. Who's that sound like? That sounds Rasheed like, right? Oh, yeah. Like, so it's an interesting way. I think you're betting on Louisville just improperly using him is what you're betting on if you go for him. Overall, he looks the part, right? Mm-hmm. So limited route tree, not refined. Some other negatives. Looked faster with the ball than without it, which is a really weird observation. One thing I didn't like that I read, and I didn't see it a lot, because usually, I mean, I try to watch more than highlights, but I wish I had the time. Didn't really run routes at different variants of speed, right? Like you can be fast. You don't have to be fast to get open, though, as long as you use your speed correctly. Some of the great receivers are really good at that. I felt like I ran a route at like 1 speed for the most part. But physical, before and after the catch, great at shielding defenders, great at the catch point. Just saw a little more variance in 2024. But yeah, I picked 40. I think it is a little more of a bet, but again, that's why he's at 40 and not 29. I think your plan would be to eventually put him at X. I think he'd be not as much of a project as Lane is, but I think he'd still have a little project to him just because he wasn't as exposed to like real, a real variance of routes and an offense that used him properly. I think he'd finally be used the right way. I think it would take a little bit to adjust, but as long as they believe in that, then I'm okay with it.
Well, we got to ask, like, what are we running? What does our offense look like? And our offense looks like exactly what he's running. That's it. I mean, when I'm telling you, it is so similar with the deep overs and the shallow crosses. That's what you've seen him excel with. Who else led 0 to 10 in short yardage passes? The Chiefs. Been doing that for years. That's what happened. Rashid Rice, slant route, okay? Shallow cross, and then let him get up through. This is what we do. And so that variance as far as like, the route tree, it's not really his fault. I mean, like you said, they're asking him to do, maybe what the quarterback and, what the offensive system looks like. But what I did see him run, okay, which is a great indicator is, backside, there's this bang gate that's thrown on timing, okay? and you got to put your foot in the ground and like head around, ball's going to be on you. And there was some routes he ran like that was just on the money. He caught it clean, and then he was just gone. And so that was kind of telling me, get that foot in the ground, he can get separation. You know how you were saying it does look like he's not as fast without the ball. One of the things they were talking about is because he has a big body, sometimes the corner might get a little sticky on him. But what you seen was he was still able to make the catch, even when somebody draped on him, because he's just a big body. He's just a strong guy. And you'll see him just push a corner with one arm and catch the ball with his other arm, his other hand, like it was nothing. So it's like he's playing with kids out there sometimes because he's so strong. But that man, like when he played against Miami, it goes back to this. He had 9 catches for 136 yards, were both the most allowed by the Hurricanes all season long. He came in and he demolished those guys. And I'm talking about he caught it and took off against those dudes. Both targets, what he said, both were 35 and 36 yards he had on those touchdowns. Catches the ball, slant, and he's gone. He ain't tackling him. And so when you got a big game like that, you got to show up like a big-time player. And he did. Like you said, shoot. Then all of a sudden, we're going to put you back in the box. Oh, that look cute. We appreciate it. Come on back over here. And we go, it's like, what are you doing?
They said his adjustment on back shoulder throws was great. Like he knows how to adjust to the ball, which is not an easy skill set to have. So, he's got it there. You want to see more of it when you draft him. You don't have to worry about Yak. I mean, they said his acceleration on plays with the ball in his hands. He looks like the way he runs through arm tackles, like Debo-esque. Just really strong, like strong as an ox, and just runs through all that stuff. Slight project, but a little more fun. And I just read why we were doing that. He's supposed to be fully clear by training camp.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, if we're projecting Pat to be ready, first game possibly, and he got hurt before Pat did, it would kind of make sense.
You think so, but McCoy from what do you call it, from Tennessee, he got hurt like over a year ago, and he didn't even participate at the combine. He didn't work out. So apparently he's going to work out at his pro day, but some guys it just takes longer than others, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is scary, and that's hurting his draft stock. He was going to be like a top 12 pick if he just participated. But
you hope a guy's not taking it serious like he should.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem with that, JD. So you're worried about that, or you're worried about like him not healing right. So it's like either way, it's scary for a guy not to be right by now after like 14 months. Like you're like, you've been gone for a long time, man. Like what's happening?
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, Chris Bill's drop rate pretty good. 4% drop rate, 3 drops on 106 targets last year. So good hands as well.
You want to hear 2 comps besides or other than AJ Brown? You're not going to like this. Quincy Enunwa.
Oh, from the Chargers?
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, like,
it's all right.
There's a high and a low to every person's player comp.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's good to know what a guy's baseline comp is too. Not all these guys are going to be. Not all of them are going to turn out the best case scenario, right? I mean,
no, not every Denzel Boston is going to be a Mike Evans.
No, certainly not. I mean, even his baseline comps, I mean, were still tough to get. Like, I mean, we're talking about Pittman was his other ones. Like, if you're Pittman, by all means, dude, I'll take you at 29. Like, that's great. Sure.
All right, so let's get into Tage's last prospect for the night, R. Mason Thomas.
Let's get started out of the way because I think we talked about this a long time ago. But the R, what does the R stand for, JD? Trick question, nothing. It is just R.
Really? Does stand for anything? It's just R Mason?
It was a family of R's, and I think what I read was the dad wanted to name him Mason, but the mom wanted to continue the R legacy in their family. So
Okay.
you're just like, all right, you could have Mason, but I'm throwing the R in there, pretty much. So interesting nugget for R Mason.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's our Mason. So explosive first step, high motor, short area power. He is a little undersized. But in 10 games, at 9.5 tackles for losses, 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a 35% win rate on true pass sets. Comparison, I believe Zion Young was 26%. So just gives you a little insight there. Just really lean, nice bend to him, speed to power, dip, rip, outside move. He's got a lot of moves. He can just go straight up hand to hand combat. He can do it a lot of different ways. 90 pass rush grade. He improved. What I like to see is if you got a deficiency, improve it, right? So he improved his run defense grade by 15 points from this year to last year, which I love seeing. Fights through doubles, has pursuit speed, has a high motor. There's a clip I saw of him being double teamed. He breaks out of it and eventually chases down the running back 30 yards downfield to throw him out of bounds. So he's got that to him. I love that. Energy, can get into the backfield. Did a really nice job against Proctor from Alabama, who's a first round. It's always good to see guys do well against, opponents who are also high graded players. And if you're talking about a guy being too small, if you're too small, you could do a good job against Proctor, who's like 6'6", like 380. You'll be all right. You'll be all right in the NFL. He does draw a lot of Benito comps because he's a little more smaller, and Oklahoma, like a junkyard dog type, another guy kind of like Zion, a guy you want in your locker room. Not big, but what I like to hear when people say he's not that big is that he plays a lot bigger than his size. And I think that's more important than your size, right? They asked him, this is great. So they asked him at the combine, what do you tell scouts and team reps when they show concern about your size? And he says the same thing I say to all of them is mass times acceleration equals force is what I tell them. I love that, right? He's had ankle surgeries. He has missed multiple games last 2 seasons. But my bottom line for him is he has a lot of moves. He's got the bend. He's got speed to power. He's got the first step explosion. He got the quickness. He's probably, as far as the bag he has and not being a liability in size, I'd say he's probably second to Bailey in that group of guys. I think Howell would probably be behind him just because one has a major roadblock in the arm length, right? He doesn't have that. So I put Howell third. I would say Thomas is second to me. But I think he's more of like a pure speed type rusher. Howell is. Thomas has more power to him and holds up better against the run. He can actually set an edge. He's not an edge setter. He's not Zion Young. I'm not saying he is, but he's not a complete liability. I think you can try. What the difference between him and Howell is, how out of the gate you're saying, all right, man, we're throwing you into third downs. We want you to hit the quarterback. I think Arlington Thomas, you actually give him a shot to play the 3 downs. I think he's earned that, and he's improved enough of his run defense to say, all right, we're going to make you our starting D end here. So if we're not able to get a pass rusher at 9, he's an option at 29 or even 40. I don't know if you want to risk that if you come away with 9.29 without a pass rusher. If you want to have him last to 40, you could try that or trip in the 30s to make it happen. But yeah, he's in that range right now.
Yeah, when I tell you what, when I watched him, he plays with a lot of speed, man. Like what do you call him, junkyard dog?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna call him the Tasmanian devil because he's just like always just like moving around, getting in, and
yeah,
But he is undersized. He does look small out there against those guys. But like you say, he does play bigger. He does. But he is without a doubt in those edges where speed is more so that's his calling card. And so when you get a guy like this in there, I'm not saying he can't be an every down guy. I think he could, Tage. But his forte would be to try to go and get the quarterback on the outside. That's where he's going to try to beat you on the edge. I've seen him push some guys back too, man. But he's a good player, man. He's a good player. He's kind of one of those guys. I don't know where he really falls. I really don't. It is kind of a question for me, like where would he go? What round and what pick?
Gotta see how that board falls. If we're at 29 and a lot of pass rushers have gone, you might have to just be like, hey man, we got to secure one of these guys. I don't think, like, let's say there's 2 more pass rushers you have and you have 11 picks to your next pick. That's a little scary to me. I would say pull the trigger and do it. It all really depends how the draft's falling.
Yeah.
One of the things I saw about him, which I thought was interesting, they kind of referred to him as the closer. Over the last 2 years, majority of his sacks came in the fourth quarter of games.
Like that.
So I do love that. I mean, yeah. And a lot of chase down tackles come from backside of plays as well. I think you mentioned that. But
yeah.
2 things that, we always talk about. I feel like it's a kind of a broken record for us to say, man, if only so-and-so if only Carl Loftus could get Burrow down in the fourth quarter on a play where he's, continuing a play and extending it, if only, Carl Loftus could grab him or Mike Danny could grab him. I feel like it's something, and that's one thing he's known for, being a closer, being a fourth quarter guy who comes alive in the fourth quarter, which be awesome to have that. So yeah, majority of his like 6 of his sacks or 8 of his sacks of the last 2 years have come in the fourth quarter of games, which is just,
it goes to show you too, he doesn't stop, because if you're still you're beating your man down the fourth quarter because he's worn down and you're not, right? So if he's doing that in the fourth quarter, that's what it means. It means he doesn't stop and he's got that energy all day.
Yeah,
that's what you want, right?
Yeah, just to have a relentless guy in the fourth quarter to just finish a play and not let a quarterback extend. I mean, that's just going to be huge, because we are going to play against guys like Josh Allen. We are going to play against guys like Lamar and Burrow, guys who will extend plays. To have a dude who can be relentless, that'd be great to have. And you think he's a tier ahead of Cashius Howell?
I think they're going to go in the same range for sure.
I think he's a little bit better.
I think he's right there. Yeah, I think Cashius Howell is a better pure pass rusher.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think Thomas has a chance to play on first and second downs more. That's
You think there's a little bit more to his game outside the pass rush, is what you're saying, versus Cashius Howell.
He also has, because he has a little more of the power to him, right? Howell is speed. Speed kills. That's what he is. He has speed and moves. Thomas has that, not as much, but he also has some power and some edge setting ability, where Howell pretty much over on that regard. So what you're getting less in speed, you're getting a little more of power. And with that, you get a guy who can play on first, second down. So do you want a slightly more dominant pass rusher on third downs only, or do you want a little less than that, but he can also play on first and second down and not be a complete liability? I mean, I know he's smaller, but 6'2", 241. I mean, Gelati was 6'3", 264. I know and Gelati's a pure power guy, right? So, I mean, it's an inch and 20 pounds. It's a lot, but it's not like crazy. I wouldn't say he's a small guy by any means. He's just not one of the, he's not Bane, you know what I mean? So.
Hey, they made O&L put on 20 pounds. Maybe they'll make him put on 20 pounds too, right?
They had O'Neal, you said put on 20?
Yeah, I believe it was like 15 to 20 pounds he gained. Because I remember everyone was making a big to-do about saying that they're killing this best part of his game.
Yeah, I think he should lose some of that weight and get down and closer to his playing weight.
Omar Norman Lott?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's been off, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, with the injury, you think he's gonna be losing weight, JD, or is he gonna be putting on weight while he's tore his ACL? I mean, it can go either way with that.
I don't know what the guy's habits are. Sure. he might like some hamburgers, some big old Big Macs.
Norman Lott might like eating Big Macs in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some Cold Stone DoorDash. Say, all right.
Why not?
All right, so our final prospect of the night is Dallen Bentley. So I'll begin the tight end run through. So maybe JD will do some tight ends next week. But Dallen Bentley's a guy I'm just a huge fan of, so I wanted to get him on and talk about Dallen Bentley tonight. We talked about him a few weeks back. We touched on it when we did the tight end preview. But, so I'll go over his pros first. In 2025, Bentley put up 48 catches for 620 yards, 6 touchdowns, emerging as a go-to target and finishing as the John Mackey Award semifinalist. The efficiency stands out, 0 drops on 76 targets. That's reliability that we just love to see from our tight ends. And for people who don't know, the 2 years prior, Bentley would stay home. It was more of just a blocking tight end on pass pro. That was kind of his thing. Finally, this year, he was able to kind of flourish a little bit and showcase his talent. He also brings real production after the catch. Bentley averaged 5.5 yards after contact per reception and forced 10 missed tackles in 2025. Bentley can kind of do it all, line up in line in the slot as an H-back, giving Kansas City flexibility in the personnel and pre-snap motion. That versatility is key in an offense that leans heavily on mismatches and shifting looks. Now the blocking, right? I mentioned he would stay home as far as being a pass blocking tight end. Run blocking still part of his game he's developing, but as far as pass blocking and pass protection, flawless game, allowing just 1 pressure on 47 pass blocking snaps in 2025. We're talking about a guy 6'4", 260, has the frame and strength to develop into more of an overall complete blocker with the run blocking. But as far as being a pass pro tight end, he's got that pretty good. So limitations, not an elite separator, does not have top end speed, but obviously, showing all the numbers he had, he obviously can contribute offensively. He's not just a blocker, but also a pass catcher. He's day 3 pick is where he'll go. I don't know what round he's going to go. I've seen a lot of variations of it, but he's a day 3 guy. So anywhere in that fourth round to 6th round range for Dallen Bentley. He produced well at the combine. He actually, he was one of the guys who's off a lot of radars, but he actually had a really good combine where he kind of jumped up a lot of people's radars after that. But we talked about it before the combine, so he's been on our radar for a little bit. But what do you guys think of Dallen Bentley in the rounds 4 to 6 range? And just overall, what do you think about Dallen Bentley's fit in Kansas City?
I think he's a great compliment to what we do, or at least used to do. Having like Blake Bell and then having a guy that could absolutely hold up on the line of scrimmage right there, I think is key for us. One thing I did notice this past season was a lot more 12 or 13 personnels from other teams was running. You have 3 or 4 tight ends, man, that was just kicking everybody in their teeth. I think we need to kind of go back to that. We didn't really see a whole lot of 13 personnel last year. And if we did, we didn't really have the tight ends involved like they should have. We didn't give them the football. Sometimes we try to run behind them. Sometimes we get stuffed. And I think it's something we got to get better at. We got to get better at our blocking, inline blocking. I think Dallen Bentley could do that for us for sure. Young guy, he's got good hands. He's sneaky athletic, to be honest with you. I watch him in his film. But you're right. I think his stock went up after they seen him at the combine. And I was actually impressed with the way he was able to move. But he's a guy that I think would be a great addition to our tight end room because we need a banger. We need a guy that we know is going to go ahead and stick his nose into the business, man, and get it done, get the job done. So all these other, we talked about heir apparent to Travis and all these other things, and I think we have guys kind of here that can kind of pick up the slack somewhat. I don't know for us tight end what we're going to be going at. Kenyon Sadiq, there's some other guys, obviously, but then all of a sudden it kind of tails off for me as far as tight ends who's trying to be that heir apparent, right? Who's not going to be just catching the football down the field. It wasn't like it was last year. So that's daggone shit. Mickey, that's right. Not everyone's Jason Dunn. That's a daggone fact. So,
Jay, since you are, the person that everyone should come to when it comes to blocking and tight ends, when a guy who is like Bentley's, his profile, right? Great pass blocking tight end. The run blocking is not there. Do you see the chops? If a guy already has, obviously pass blocking, run blocking a little bit different. But Does a guy like that have the chops to maybe be this a stellar run blocker like he is a pass blocker?
I mean, he should. I kind of, I don't know, man. That a little concerning to me that he's not. Is it just saying he's not really doing it? Is that the offense that he's just not good at it? I'm sure he's willing if he's doing pass blocking, and he's great at it. Inline blocking should be his forte. So what is it? What is it actually saying about that, Marcus?
It just says that's something he needs to work on. That's something he needs to develop his game. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, see, part of it could just be the system that they run. Maybe they don't really have the tight end attached and running behind them. But a guy that's willing to do it in the passing game, which tell me they do pass a lot. Yeah, I can see him being willing in the run game for sure. I would expect that. I really would. So
yeah, I think his game will complement Brindstle's game as well. We're talking about years beyond Travis. If you were to bring him in, to have him and Brindstle, who's more of a receiving type of tight end, to have Bentley right there next to him, it's a great compliment of a guy to have for the future years. Because we're talking about, because you're not going to find a Travis Kelce. You can have a couple tight ends who can kind of fill a Travis Kelce role, and that's what be Bentley and a Brindstle type of guy if Brindstle does pan out next year.
Yeah, I agree.
Tej, what are your thoughts on Dallen Bentley?
Other than what you said, I mean, not a lot to add, really. I mean, he had 0 drops, which is great. He is physical. He can run after the catch. He had a really good combines, kind of where he, in the last 2 months, I feel like he's blown up on people's radar. He was like a 5th or 6th round. Now we're looking at like some people's like number 2 tight end now.
Really?
Wow.
Because no one's really established himself as the main number 2 tight end in this class. There's a lot of good tight end prospects. It's very deep, but no one's really sticking out. So when no one really sticks out other than the top guy, it really comes down to the flavor of the analyst or the flavor of the scout watching him at that point, right? So like when it's not clean cut. So overall, I mean, he's got good rack ability, good chain mover. Pretty impressive quickness for his size, being the size he is, right? A high IQ blocker with inline, so he does give us something that we can have that we haven't had in a while, which is a good blocker and a good catcher, a good pass catcher. Usually our guys are one or the other in most times in our past. But yeah, I think I'd put him in like the tier 3. The Justin Jolie, Jack Andrews, Oscar Delve, Royer, Raridan, that group of tight ends, right? Again, it's a pretty deep class, so I think we can't go wrong with a lot of these guys. That to me would put him like anywhere from late day 2 with a bunch of those guys to like mid day 3. So, But yeah, I mean, I like him. He looked good in the gauntlet drill too. He was really fluid doing that.
He was great in the gauntlet drill. A lot of people were impressed by the gauntlet.
He just stand out in the Shrine Bowl. He looked great in the practices. That's kind of where it kind of started. Everyone's like, "Who is this guy?" Because they said you do well in practice 1. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't do well in practice again. It's like, all right, who is this guy? Why haven't we like not looked at him? So looks, man, some guys don't get used properly. Tight ends, you see it a lot. I mean, look at Claire. Claire went from Purdue to being like the main funnel of their offense to like kind of an afterthought in the Ohio State offense. I mean, which helped him out because he got better as a blocker. But it's just weird how, like, depending on what system you are, you could just get like not used at all. And there's some gems out there who just weren't used that much in college. You just can't wait for their opportunity. So yeah, I mean, I think he's got a good potential to be number 2 tight end on a team, maybe number 1 in the right system. I think that's really important, right? To get drafted the right system for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a connection here with Bentley in Utah. So Kyle Whittingham, who was the Utah's head coach, his son was on our staff. Now Kyle Whittingham is now in Michigan, but there's a connection there. So maybe they have some insight and scoop on Bentley or any Utah prospects. I mean, because there are a lot of Utah prospects in this draft. We talked about the linemen and this, as well as Dallen Bentley as well. So there might be some connection there too.
Yeet.
The Utes, baby.
To what? To Utes.
All righty. Well, that brings us to the end of our show. 2 hours, about 30 minutes less than last week. So
Okay.
on track.
We're trimming the fat. We're trimming the fat.
We're trimming the fat. But we hope you guys enjoy the show. We will see you guys on Wednesday night. Hope everyone has a lovely rest of your evening. JD, take us away, brother.
Well, I tell you what, another great show, guys. You know, got some more prospects out so everybody can look at and bite your fingernails over. But I think we hit it out the park with this, man. I think we did. Some really good guys. I tell you what, hey, we will see you on Wednesday. We have another show out here talking about a few more things. I don't know what else to say, man. Shoot, great job, fellas. Tage, Marcus, appreciate your input and analysis on all the guys, bringing them out. So I'm sure everybody's mock looks different, okay? I'm sure it does. But I think for me, I did something a little different today. I actually took 2 wide receivers at 9 and 29. That's what I did. Took receiver back to back, and I was just like, hey, you know what? That don't look too bad. I was able to find a couple of edge guys, you know, got some A's on. I'm like, yeah, this ain't too rough. So we'll see. We'll see how it's going to play out, man. But look, hey, everybody at the Chiefs Concerns Kingdom and everybody here that came out tonight, man, thank you so much for showing it, staying with us. We appreciate you so much. Marcus Tage, man, love you, brothers. We will see y'all Wednesday night. Wednesday night, man.
Love y'all.
Love you guys.
See y'all Wednesday. Good night.
Let's keep it going. Good night.
Yes,
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.